Welcome back. It's the Kovacs Report and it's Wednesday, which means the reviews are coming. That's right. Over the next few days, I'm going to be dropping a lot of reviews. We're going to kick off right now with Absolute Batman number 10 by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. Now, I've loved this book and I've hated this book. It's been ups and downs, but issue 10, woo! Boy, oh boy, it's turning that dial up to 10 and then cranking it right off the machine. So we're going to dive straight in. I'm going to go through it page by page, give you my thoughts. There will be spoilers. Please read the book first. If you don't want it spoiled, like the video if you like the video, and subscribe, please. It really helps the channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. Now, honestly, if you this book is, I don't know where to start, right? Scott Snyder is having an absolute ball here. He really, really, really is. And you can feel it on every page of this issue. It's insane, absolutely crazy. I hate it as much as I love it, but I've got to admit, at the end of the day, it was a bit of a delight to read. So I'm sort of in this weird limbo of like, what have I just read? Well, let's get into it. So issue 9. Bruce, as Batman, has infiltrated Arkham. I think he's trying to find out what's going on there. And Wayland's gone missing. Supposedly, he's been kidnapped, I guess, and taken to Arkham. So he's running to Bane. And the cliffhanger was Bane holding him up in the air, about to pummel him. So we jump. We don't see what happens next. And we find Martha, his mother, talking about her worries to Jim Gordon that, you know, her son's gone missing. She just senses something's wrong. This isn't like him. And we jump straight to Arkham, where Dr. Arkham is recording her test notes, all right, what's going on. And we see Bruce. He's not looking good. He's all patched up. He's obviously had the living hell beaten out of him by Bane. And they're pulling out all of the hidden weapons from his suit and his body. So they're pulling out tear gas, acid pellets, explosive pellets, blades, knuckle blades, daggers, all kinds of weapons, shuriken, all sorts of things, right? They've found them in and about his body and in his suit. And they are watching him. Now, they've called him Test Subject 27, which is obviously a nod to Detective Comics 27, the first appearance for Batman. That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch. But Bruce awakens, and we get this real messed up page here, and this is going to come into play later. I like this double page spread they do with the titling, right? It kind of just like really drags you in, actually. The more I read this book, the more I'm getting dragged in. Anyway, Bruce gets up. You can tell he's a bit disheveled, but when the doctors are removing all these weapons, they missed one. He had a lockpick concealed in his mouth. Now, this bit, I'm like, oh, well, they would have found that, or did they leave it there on purpose to see what he would do? I don't know. It was a slight annoyance, but that's just me. I'm picky. But this is where everything kicks off, and we start seeing lots of references to all sorts of things. So we've got Hellfern, which is Dr. Death, I think. So that's another Batman villain. And you see lots of little nods to other villains through here, which is really interesting because I like the idea that a lot of the villains that we're seeing in this universe were manufactured, you know. They weren't just a product of I don't know, circumstance or rising against the Batman. So they've created them. We get this very Akira-looking 1980s style egg that hasn't hatched yet, and we're thinking, what's in that? And all these rooms are these huge rooms, these giant observation windows, and Arkham itself is a labyrinth. It's brilliant. I really like the design of it. So we wander into this next section called the clay biome, which I'm assuming is Clayface, but it's not just clay, it's all these humans. If you've ever seen the old horror film Society, they're all melded together and mashed, and they're all begging for help but saying it hurts. But Bane's caught up because they've noticed he's escaped, obviously, and they've tracked him down, and Bane gives him a good hiding. Now, there's a little joke at the end of each of these little sections, right? Which is Subject 27 gets apprehended, and then Bane turns up, and then they said he's going to need more surgery, he's going to need more rest time. It's quite funny. Anyway, we get these flashbacks to Bruce training Wayland for a really big fight against an opponent which, you know, for all intents and purposes, he's not going to win against. It's insurmountable odds. This guy's a killer. You know, Bruce is really pushing his friend to train hard, get ready for the fight. And we see this throughout the book too. Then we jump to a month later. And Bruce has been still, let's just say, right? He's refusing to eat. He's gone on hunger strike. He's doing nothing. He's just rejecting the world, not ejecting the world. He's rejecting the world. They've got him on food bags, right? So that he's actually eating, and they're keeping him healthy to a certain extent. Anyway, a month passes, and they believe that maybe, you know, his mind has been broken. He's now pliable for their needs. So they send the doctors in, but it was just a ruse. And he kicks the living hell out of all of them. Absolutely smashed them. And this is where it goes mental, right? And I like some of this. I think it's brilliant. It says that he'd been taking out some of his teeth and made sort of like knuckle dusters with his teeth for this moment. He's also taken his food tube and attached it to his stomach, where the raw acid is being manufactured in your body, and he uses that to squirt and melt one of the faces of the doctors. And then even further than that, he's been saving up all his excrement and pee and created some kind of flammable gunpowder in the toilet, which he uses on another unsuspecting doctor. It's just crazy, absolute craziness. And then he runs out and he escapes yet again. And obviously he's being pursued by Bane, who they call the Prime. So he's either like the big dog, well, he's obviously the big dog, right? Or maybe he's the first experiment. I don't know, but he has some kind of power. Like he is the Prime that everyone else is scared of in there. Now, we walk past his egg again and notice that it's hatched. Very subtly, we notice that it's hatched. What was in the egg? I don't know. Anyway, Bruce tries to escape, and then we get more nods to other Marvel villains. So they go through this this sort of forested area where there's plants and things. So that's basically poison ivy and all these weird trees. It's called the Isley ecosystem. They're all screaming, saying the green wants out, the green wants out. And this big, weird sort of tongue kind of root thing goes into Bruce's mouth and starts messing it up. Then Bane turns up and tears the guy's, well, I say guy, the monster's head clean off, sends him back to the infirmary where they make the joke again that he's going to need more medical care. Now, we get this little flashback for some reason. They're building it over the last few issues of Selena Kyle, Catwoman, asking Bruce to come out on a job with him, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. I don't know why. I don't know if he's been on other jobs before. And she's questioning whether or not he should keep training and lying to his friend Waylon, because this Bibbo guy, this other boxer, he's like I say, he's a menace. Like, he's got no chance of winning. But Bruce respects loyalty, so I guess he stays there. Now we jump another month down the line, and we notice Bruce has had quite a lot of experiments. It's extensive. You can see these weird green veins and all this other stuff that's been going on. He's got no hair. He doesn't look very good, right? But it says that all of these experiments they've done on them, they've worked. So they've experimented on his brain. They've done brainstem insertion. They've done all sorts of stuff to him. But usually the previous 26 subjects have perished along the way. But he's the first that have survived, basically. So I don't know. Are they banifying him? I don't know. But it doesn't look good. Those green veins, they do not look like something you want in your body. Now, Martha, she's still looking for Bruce. She's getting more and more upset that she can't find him because time has passed. And that's what's happening in the background. Anyway, back to the bat. So as one final test to see if Bruce has been broken and ready to sort of utilize for their own needs, they have his bat suit hanging there to try and tempt him. He's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. And then he turns it the suit. And he gives into it, and he puts the suit on, and he comes crashing through the wall. He's ready to kick ass, and he walks into more the Langstrom experiments, and you all know who that is. We see the monsters there. So again, lots of little nods to all the other villains which may be on their way. I like that. It's kind of cool. And they're all like, make it stop, make it stop. They all want out. All these sort of villainous things that are growing in there. They're not happy that they're there. They're going to escape and go on the rampage. I'm pretty sure of it. But of course, he's escaped yet again. And Bane is there ready to test him. Now, I think Bane wants him to escape each time. He kind of says, let's do this. Keep going. Keep escaping. Maybe Bane wants to just flex his muscles, and maybe he wants someone that he can actually have a fight put up against him, right? Because he is the Prime. No one seems to be able to beat him. So he's pummeling Batman, absolutely pummeling him. And he sends him flying through the glass where the egg was. What was inside the egg? Well, it's a giant croc. It's Waylon. He recognizes him, actually. He says, Waylon. And the sort of monstrous killer croc turns around and recognizes him. This is where we think there's going to be a big fight between Croc and Batman, which is what you normally expect. But no, the loyalty comes in. He recognizes Batman and Bruce, right? And he mounts him up. So he's got his Dark Knight steed here. And they ride out. They ride out of the building. And Bane's like, right, let's really go there. I'm really time to break him. Now he's all souped up. Now he's supercharged. Now his mind's been broken or pushed to a limit where you never thought it would go before. Now there's time for the real fight. And that's where we have it. I mean, it's crazy, right? And I was like, this is awful, but it isn't. It's actually quite brilliant. If you take that leap of faith and you know that when you come into absolute Batman, it's just craziness, right? And that's what I guess this whole line is about, is turning it upside down on its head, doing something different. And Scott Snyder, and Rich Dragotta have done just that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The art works really well. This double page spread, every time I see it, I just fall in love with it. So that's Absolute Batman 10. God knows what's coming in 11, right? I don't know what Scott Snyder is drinking, but I want some of it because it is a delight. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Like the video if you like the video. Please subscribe. I cannot stress enough how much it helps the channel. I really appreciate it. And until the next review, read more comics and let me know what you think of Absolute Batman number 10.